Within the context of business planning, one of the practices we embrace here at Tarkenton is what we call journey mapping. Journey map kind of fits within the broader context of a business plan. Business plan is going to have, your budget considerations, your financial forecasts, the implications of, resource investments, timing, things of that nature. We take that and then we break that down into the parts, pieces, people, processes that go into actually executing that plan. And most importantly, the order in which those things are done, where the intersections of both people, process, technology all kind of collide at the same time. And we bubble that out, break that out in a visual representation, quite literally, if you can think of a architectural blueprint. No one goes and says, hey, I'm gonna go build a house today. Okay, great. We know it's gonna be 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage. How do we do that? What order do we do that? When do we need to order supplies? When do I need to bring up the contractors to go hang electric, to hang drywall? You have to have a plan, right? So what we do is we go ahead and we expand that out and we essentially produce a massive wall map, something that can hang in the office of every single stakeholder that's attached to some part of the execution of that plan. What this does, it becomes a living, breathing document. So after 6 months of executing against a plan and you go back and you revisit that map, it's gonna have Post-it notes, it's gonna have scribbles all over the place because it's living and breathing. We know that business changes, teams changes, organizations get reorganized. And one thing that this map does, it provides a single source of truth. It's not someone's opinion, it's not someone's idea, it is quite literally the architectural blueprint to whatever plan or process that the organization committed to executing against. So anytime there's some type of leadership change, or if there's a disagreement amongst the team, the settling of all debates comes back to the map. What was agreed upon when we decided to go and tackle this plan or this project? Lots of times when we talk about business planning, we spend so much time on the processes by which that plan is created and executed, the development of the business case. What I found most important, and it's something unfortunately I think a lot of organizations lose sight of, what is a plan and who is going to execute it? It's this team, it's that organization. Okay, well, who makes up that organization? Who makes up that team? It's people. At the end of the day, to execute any type of plan, you have to have the right people in the right place at the right time to do it. Part of every planning process that we go through, we typically start kind of macro, and then we come down and define things in individual journey maps. As we're going through that process, we want to absolutely define the win. So many times we just go headlong into a planning process or taking on a new project without first gaining consensus. What is the win? When we are done with this, what does success mean to you? And oftentimes, by going through that process, sometimes painfully up front, you can quickly find out, where potential conflicts may occur in the execution of that plan, get out in front of it, rally the team behind a central purpose that's gonna eventually bring us to that win. Now, once you're in the throes of a plan, you've got the teams in motion, you've got the resource commitments, everybody's pumped up to go get after the whatever the stated goal was, all of a sudden we trip and we fall. We make a mistake. Something didn't work as we had originally forecasted it to work. Most people call that a failure. I'm often reminded of an interview that the late Kobe Bryant once gave to a reporter, and the reporter was talking to Kobe about his failures, kept using the word failure. Finally, Kobe stopped the reporter and said, "Failure is not part of my vocabulary, it's learning." So replacing the word failure for learning. No one wants to be associated with a failure or failing, but all of us are eager to learn. We want to learn more, we want to have new experiences. So it's all about calibrating the right mindset within that team to where we're always constantly hitting the momentum that's needed to hit each and every one of those milestones. So in our lexicon, let's replace failure with learning. As we continue throughout the process of executing against the plan that we've defined the win on, we've embraced learning, not failure. The other thing that's hard for, I think, a lot of us to do, which is to, some people might think you're patting yourself on the back. But our CEO one time had told me, he says, Will, if you don't tell people the good news, they're never gonna know because they're never gonna ask. And think about that. Just think about just in your course of your daily life, when you flip on the radio or the television, or you go to social media, what sells, right? It's the negative headline. It's the horrific story. It's the tragedy in this part of the world. It's the divisiveness. Where's the good news? Who's sharing the good news? We all kind of gravitate to, give me the good news or bad news. Vast majority of us are going to ask for the bad news first. So don't be afraid whenever we have any type of small, large win. Make sure you're recognizing the people that were part of that. Make sure you're telling the other stakeholders that maybe approved this plan, but maybe they're not in the trenches every day. Make sure you're telling them, putting the spotlight on the people that are creating those wins. If you don't tell people the good news, they'll never know because they'll never ask.